What's up, guys? It's Alexis, and I'm back with another video. I wanted to make this video for everyone out there who is considering getting lock extensions. I feel like there's not a lot of videos out there talking about the cons of lock extensions. Just things that they really don't talk about or tell you you should probably think about before getting them, to make sure that committing to lock extensions is something that you want. For those of you that are probably researching, looking online, trying to find all the information you possibly can, I feel like this video will be definitely helpful for you. Alright, so the first point that I want to make is something that I kind of wish that I knew ahead of time, was the stiffness. So when you first get lock extensions, your locks are super stiff. And I say that to say there are gonna be people out here who advertise that their locks aren't stiff, that they use this certain kind of hair, or they can make your locks not stiff, or whatever the case is. And I'm in a lock group on Facebook, and I'm gonna be honest with you, the majority of the locticians that I see that make lock extensions say that the stiffness is normal. Even the young lady that did my locks, stiffness is normal in the beginning. Your locks have to, basically have time to be washed, and you have to break them in, basically. So when you first get your locks, especially like maybe you get them done in the rope twist or something like that, once you take them out, you're going to notice that they are pretty stiff and pretty hard. And if you guys go back to my first video, which I will link up top, where I talk about, my first month or so, I believe it was, with my lock extensions, that they were really stiff. And you can see when I'm like playing with them and moving them around, like they don't have the, freeness that my lock extensions have now. So that's just one thing that I would keep in mind. Some people don't like that, and they don't like it so much that they immediately take out their locks. And locks ain't cheap. If you're gonna spend that kind of money, you want to make sure that you're not gonna be turned off by something as simple as stiffness. Over time, the stiffness does go away. Rose water is something that I use like religiously. I use that all the time. I have to show you guys my products. I don't have them up here with me, so I might do another video about the products that I use. But definitely rose water, just keeping your locks moisturized, keeping your scalp oil, constantly like just keeping the moisture in your locks. Something else that I feel like I wish I had known before getting lock extensions was frizziness. And a lot of people get lock extensions because they feel like they're gonna avoid like the ugly phase, which is basically the phases where your locks are maturing. They don't necessarily look like mature locks when you first get them. Like this would be considered a mature lock look, but I'm gonna get closer to the camera so y'all can see. My locks are still like teenage locks, like my real hair, and you can tell because they're very frizzy. Like you guys could see the frizz. So like this stuff you have to deal with, and you really can't cut it. You can't trim it off with some scissors or something like that, because you risk the possibility of your hair unlocking from the lock extension itself. So you kind of just have to deal with it, and it's gotten much better over time. But like when my hair first started budding and locking, it was so annoying. Like it still is annoying to me now. Like I hate when my hair is not twisted, because you can really see it. Let me show you guys. And this is like going into my next point too. You don't skip the budding phase. Like your hair is still gonna bud. So this right here is a bud. This big, squishy, just knot. And there's nothing you can do to make it go away. You can't twist it down. You can't, like, it just is going to be there. And it will be there until the lock matures. So while people say, oh, you just skipping a phase, no ma'am. no sir. Getting lock extensions does not mean that you skip any of these phases. Your hair is still gonna go through the phases. And so right now, like, my natural hair is would be what you consider the teenage phase. Like, all of this frizziness, all the budding, it's just going through the natural lock phases. So even though I have lock extensions and the ends of my hair are mature, you still have to deal with the phases with your natural hair. And that can be annoying. Like, some people take their locks out because they weren't prepared for that, and they don't know really how to deal with the fact that their hair kind of looks like this. Like, I feel like I constantly have to keep my hair either twisted or up in a ponytail or something like that, because when it's down, like, you can really see, you know, that my locks are not like fully mature. So budding and frizz, those are two things that you will have to deal with even though you get lock extensions. The next thing that I feel like people should know is that you may experience some of your locks falling out. I mean, that's just part of it. I don't care how much money you pay. Like, maybe you get lucky, you get somebody, you know, that's really good. And I'm not even gonna say that's bad, because the person who did my locks, I think she did a great job. But I did have 2 to fall out in the back, and they only came out in the back, this last row back here. Locks done. So the person who did my extensions is not accessible to me. So I am constantly on a mission to try to find somebody who can not only maintain, you know, my hair, style it and all that, but also maintain my lock extensions. They have to know, like, you know, how to deal with them if they start getting loose or whatever, like how they can put it back in. But like I said, it hasn't been a lot. It's only been 2 in the back, and I feel like there's another one that's getting loose, and it's on that back bottom row. And I think partly that's because I sleep with a bonnet on my head, and it's a lot of rubbing. But this is what it looks like when your locks are just kind of hanging on by a thread. And so 2 have fallen out because of that. I did get 1 put back in, but okay, I tried to put it in myself, and then I ended up messing up the lock. So I ended up going to somebody to put it in, and he put in a lock that he made. So it was a different texture. And I'm gonna be honest, like, he prided himself on his locks not being stiff, which his lock was definitely, I wish I had it. I thought I had it up here. But anyway, his lock was definitely not stiff. It was very, like, movable. Even as a new, he had just, like, made the lock while I was sitting there. But when I tell you that lock was the weakest link, like, it completely didn't match the texture of the rest of my hair. It looked like he had taken some straight hair and locked it and then put it in my hair. And that lock used to bother me so bad that I eventually ended up just taking it out, because I feel like there should be some type of stiffness to your locks, especially for my texture hair. Like, my hair is 4C hair. It is not, you know, like, soft hair. It's, you know, coily, very coily. So my extension needs to be like the same texture as my hair, and it didn't match. So I'll just be very careful and research the person that you are getting to put in your locks, to make sure that, you know, even though they say that it's movable, it's, you know, you don't gotta worry about stiffness, I would be careful with those locks, because eventually you may deal with them falling out or breaking. So some of your hair will take longer to lock, which I think is the reason why this back row is having a hard time, like, holding on to my locks, is because it's not locking as fast as, like, the hair that's at the top of my head. Like, my real hair, I don't know if you can see, but when I have a pin in here to hold the lock. Okay, so it's just not locking. It's not locking. Like, there's a little bit of a little bud here, but I could probably comb that out with a rat tail comb real easy. But my hair is not locking back there. It's just not. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that, but like I said, I'm getting my hair done on Thursday, so we're gonna see if she can recommend something, or maybe I just don't need to get locks on that bottom row. I don't know. I mean, I just need to just deal with my own hair. I don't know. But that is something that you have to consider. You may have some locks that fall out, so if you do go to another city or town to get your locks done, just know like you're gonna have to find somebody within your area that is able to maintain and style your locks. The next thing I wish I knew is swelling. So my locks, if you guys go back to my first video that I talk about my lock extensions, my locks were smaller than this. Like, they were not this swollen. And I think honestly it has a lot to do with me dyeing my hair, which kind of made my extensions swell a little bit. So they are a little bit bigger than what they were when I got them put in. Not too much, not to the point where I'm just like, oh my god, I can't stand this. But I did notice that they had swollen up a little bit. So just keep that in mind, whatever size that you get, especially if you plan on bleaching or coloring your hair, just make sure that you are aware that they might swell over time. So get a size maybe smaller than what you were initially considering, because they might get bigger. I'm looking at my notes. Hold on. Okay, I mentioned this in my last video, but the color will dry out your locks, and this is if you have natural locks or lock extensions. But I feel like lock extensions, especially because they're already stiff, especially if they're new. So if you go and you get some color in your hair, then you're gonna deal with stiffness and dryness, and it's just gonna be like, and you're gonna want to take them out. So just keep in mind that if you color your hair any color that where you need to lift at all, like a red or a blue or purple, all of those colors require you to lift your hair if you don't already have light hair. So lifting requires bleach. So if you bleach your hair, that's going to strip away all the moisture from your locks, and you're going to have to deal with that until you're able to restore the moisture. And there's lots of things you can do to restore, and like I said, I will do another video talking about the products that I use in my hair to restore moisture. I just don't want this video to be too long. So to recap, I talked about the stiffness, the frizz, the budding, the fact that some of them may fall out, the swelling that you might experience. And I don't know if everybody with lock extensions has experienced swelling, but for me, I definitely did. You can definitely go back to my first video and look to see they are much thicker than they were. But this is still considered a small, like what I got was small, and I guess this would still be considered a small, because when I look at medium size locks, which I thought that's what mine swole to, medium locks are bigger than this. So if you like the small look, I would recommend getting extra small. Just know that lock extensions is a commitment. Like, don't go out here and spend all this money to get these locks, and then, you know, just know that you're gonna go through some of the things that I talked about in this video, and it's gonna frustrate you. Like the whole budding thing, like that was rough for me to adjust to, and I was very close to being like, forget this, like this is crazy. I'm not used to my hair looking like this. Now I can't even put on a wig because my head gonna look big under a wig. So it's like an adjustment. But now, like, after reading and researching and understanding, like, this is just part of the process, I'm just gonna let my hair do what it do. I haven't even been locked a year yet. It will be 8 months on the 26th of this month. So I still have a few months to even make it to a year. And I'm being told, like, after a year, your locks, like all the frizzing and swelling and all that stuff goes down. And I'll be able to do, like, trim it with scissors and stuff, because my hair will be officially, like, locked. So I don't have to worry about a slippage or anything like that. So those are just a few things that you should consider if you are thinking about getting lock extensions. Again, if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe to this video. I'm trying to be more consistent with my videos. I will be bringing other content to the channel at some point, but until then, I will continue to keep y'all updated on my locks, and you guys stay blessed.